Goes up, must come down. What's gonna be is gonna be.
Alright, a very good evening to you. Thank you so much for joining us on today's edition of the program, Strange But Real. Reaching you from the Enugu State Broadcasting Service, Sunrise FM 96.1, Enugu. My name is Michael Nwatu. My friends call me Michael O. But of course, anytime you hear me behind the microphone, you can always call me the Parade Master. And that's because I parade the paradables. And to you listening to this program for the very first time, I want you to know that Strange But Real is a live interactive program that looks into bizarre and somewhat mystic happenings in our lives and the society at large. But of course, this program permits you to come forward with your own story through our program department of the Enugu State Broadcasting Service, Sunrise FM 96.1, or number 3 Archie Street, Independence Layout. You can also directly call me on 0803 543 2897. You can also get me on Facebook, Michael O. Nwatu. Then you can now look for the page, Strange But Real. You know, this program actually is looking out for clerics, the custodians of our traditions. We're looking out for lawyers, philosophers, psychologists, doctors. We need people with clairvoyant powers, people that are gifted to see in the spirit and have the capability to also provide solution. We've always told you, please do not die in silence. You need to speak out. As you are speaking out, you never can tell if your destiny helper is somewhere listening. Alright? But I want you to know that we cry and suffer so much when supernatural things happen to us. And that is because we have failed to respect the impartial state of nature. And that's why we urge you to tell your story today and get solution, because God Almighty Jehovah is still perfect and impartial. Now please, we urge you, anytime you call into this live program and you think you're capable of providing solution, please do not call the name of anybody or an organization you think is capable of helping. Instead, you can send us such contact. It will now be our duty to forward it to the person involved. And please, when you call in, endeavor to always turn down the volume on your radio set. At the right time, I am going to give you the studio line to call. Alright, the story you're about to hear is not a fairy tale. I want you to know, yes, the story may be so strange, but real. And that is why we want you to know that for any story you hear and then you decide to pick up your phone to call in, please empathize. Don't just call because you want your voice heard on the radio, because it could be you. And anytime you try providing solution on this program, believe me, you are building a very strong bridge that you may have cause to pass through someday in life. And special thanks to you for your contribution last week on this program. Yes, we are going back to the story we told you last week because of the latest development. If you listened to last week's story, you need to follow us. But for the benefit of those who didn't listen, I will read out the story as it happened last week. You know, in Genesis chapter 3 verse 16, it is stated that unto the woman he said, I will greatly multiply thy sorrow and thy conception. In sorrow thou shalt bring forth children, and thy desire shall be to thy husband, and he shall rule over thee. Alright. It took divine intervention by Amaka, to secure a husband of her own, not just because of her ugliness or physical deformity, but because of something far beyond physical. Amaka told me how she physically visited different prayer houses in search of husband. But of course, Amaka later met Chooks, a handsome young man, although not yet made financially. Amaka was fully convinced, according to messages from certain people who are gifted to see in the spirit. This lady actually spent roughly 1 year plus in the relationship and it later crashed. Well, it was not long Amaka, who is just a school certificate holder, traveled to her hometown for a friend's traditional marriage. It was there that she met Emeka. Emeka actually was a very young palm wine tapper. Emeka was not well educated, but cannot be totally tact and illiterate because he can communicate well in pidgin English and also read to some extent. Now, the marriage was actually fixed and the process was very successful. It was not long. Amaka got pregnant just 6 months after her traditional marriage. But of course, things became so difficult for the family to feed after the marriage. Amaka went into petty trading to support the family. She was working very hard to support her husband, but Amaka's husband cared less. Well, Amaka also told me that she could count how many times she went for antenatal during her pregnancy. Her mother-in-law was also not having issues, as she would mock her and urge her to be more stronger and independent. At some point, Amaka started going back to her family for support. That going back to her family was one of the problems Amaka had with her husband. Because her husband started accusing her of infidelity, but that was fast forgotten. Alright. Well, on the 19th day of November 2023, that's just last year, Amaka woke up one late night and told her husband that she was not actually feeling alright. Well, the husband told her to wait till morning so that she can sort herself out. Amaka did everything humanly possible to convince her husband so that maybe he could follow her to a nurse in a distant place in their community, but to no avail. Amaka, on her side, knowing how she was feeling that moment, decided to take a walk alone to the nurse place. In the middle of nowhere, under thick darkness with heavy bushes left and right, coupled with the night scary sounds. Amaka did not mind all that because her condition was a situation of life and death. Finally, Amaka got to the nurse safely that night. It was not even up to 30 minutes that she arrived at the nurse place. Amaka was quickly put to bed without much hitch. Well, the nurse later called Amaka's husband in the morning and told him that his wife has been put to bed. Well, that was after waiting for several hours without hearing from Amaka's husband. Well, Amaka's husband finally came to the hospital and he was heavily tongue-lashed, by the nurse, precisely. Not just being tongue-lashed, but he was also given a huge amount to pay as a discharge fee. Well, Amaka told me that her husband was able to rally around some friends to raise the money. But of course, after paying the money, something very strange but real happened. Yes, something very strange but real actually happened after Amaka's husband paid for his wife's discharge fees. Now, it was now time for Amaka's husband, at least, to go carry his newborn baby. But to his surprise, Amaka, his wife, refused him access. Amaka's husband did everything humanly possible, including apologizing to his wife for allowing her to take a night risk. But his wife remained adamant and clinged to her baby. Well, although the nurse had reproached Amaka's husband for allowing his wife to take such a night risk, but what could have made a woman to deny her husband access to his newborn baby? Yes, of course, I know you will be asking that question. That was the main question I also asked Amaka. Now, they got home. It became more strange, but real. Because Amaka did not also allow her mother-in-law to also touch the newborn baby. But after much appeal by the people, Amaka soft-pedaled and allowed her mother-in-law to carry her baby. By the way, Amaka gave birth to a baby boy. After 3 days, Amaka delivered her baby and did not allow her husband to touch her newborn baby. The issue now degenerated and got twisted. Yes. What I mean is that Amaka's husband now called the family meeting to tell them that Amaka must tell him who impregnated her because the child she gave birth to does not belong to him. And having been buried for 3 days, having been barred for 3 days not to touch the child, Amaka's husband revealed to the family that he wants a DNA test and some traditional findings. And of course, when he was told the amount involved for a DNA test, he actually asserted to pay without any argument. People were surprised that Amaka's husband accepted to pay whatever that is required for a DNA test. I ask, could someone be pushing this man? Well, to cut the long story short, a DNA test and some traditional findings were carried out, and the result was very strange, but real. Yes, the finding after the DNA test was very strange, but real. Yes, the DNA test revealed that Amaka's husband is not the father of the child. Traditional consultations also revealed that Amaka's husband was also not the father of the child. After these findings, Amaka was immediately sent packing from the family. Now, till date, as I speak to you, Amaka told me that she did not have affairs with any other man. Amaka is also questioning the authenticity of the DNA test. But what about the traditional findings? Amaka also told me that she cannot jeopardize her marriage after suffering for years to secure a husband. Amaka is now begging for an advice on what next to do as her husband is on the verge of marrying another woman. Now, some people actually called last week and made some comment. Some privately called and asked me, why don't you go to the extent of get more information, maybe from the husband? Yes, I did that. This world, believe me, this world that you and I are living, believe me, it is very strange, but real. Now to the development. Amaka, who cried foul for the treatment and threat from her husband to send her packing, was later subjected to a traditional ritual to ascertain if really her son belongs to her husband. This ritual would result to instant death after 7 days if she had affairs with another man outside her husband. Most people would always say that if you really want to get the truth, you have to go traditional. Well, but I am a Christian. I say if you really want to get the truth very fast, seek the face of Almighty God. And Jehovah the Creator definitely will give you the reality. But of course, truth came out without delay because Amaka confessed to have slept with another man, but not willingly. Amaka accepted that she actually slept with another man, but not willingly. That's the clause. Amaka revealed that she was attacked and raped in the night by an unknown man. Amaka revealed that she actually decided to keep quiet because, according to Amaka, nobody would want to believe her. Now, after that confession, the whole family was actually thrown into confusion. Now, what I am telling you is not like they did an in-house thing. Extended families were invited. The in-laws were also invited. Before going into the traditional thing, and before Amaka herself now confessed, the question is, why did she not at first, maybe privately, secretly, reveal to the husband, please, my darling, look at exactly what happened. Women are very secretive, but of course, sometimes they are vulnerable. There's no doubt. All right. A friend of mine would always want to say that sometimes certain things happen to women maybe because they are women. And I said, why would it be so? Well, I am going to play a song, and while the song is on air, you are now at liberty to pick up your phone and call me on 0907 275 9950. Or you can also call me on 0706 815 8029. Remember, please, when you call, it's very imperative you turn down the volume on your radio sets. You know, prayer is the master key in life for you to succeed as a Christian. Believe me, you need to pray. When you pray, that difficulty, believe me, that you are passing through, you will be so surprised the solution that will come your way. Now, it is now your turn. Yes, it's your turn to actually talk to this family. But one thing I want you to know is that the family is listening right now. Whatever you are saying to the family, you are helping them to move on with this particular issue. You know, most of the time I don't really see a thing like this as problem. It is an issue that we, once again, all pass through in life. 0907 275 9950 or 0706 815 8029. You know, sometimes women are raped and they keep quiet. So many things happen to women just to sustain their pride. They keep quiet. But I still don't understand why people castigate women so much. Let's work on this caller. Hello, good evening. Hello, good evening to you. Please, your name and location.
Okay, from Ambani Road.
Okay, Chiku from Ambani Road. Go ahead and make your contribution, sir.
That is actually strange, to be frank, because the lady now is actually, she played it intentionally.
Okay.
I don't think she would have denied the man access to the child. She will even be the one to maybe force the husband to carry the baby and whatever, so that it will look like he's the father. But it actually surprises me that eventually she did not do that. I had expected her doing fully well that it was pretty rape, except of course she may not know that it was that rape that resulted into pregnancy, because chances are there she would have been raped, but then staying with the husband and staying together as husband and wife, we must have thought that it may not be that rape, that it would have been the husband that actually been pregnant, that actually pregnanted her. So, but then having confessed that she was raped, I think if I were that man, I think I would forgive her.
All right.
Yes. In fact, I have to forgive her because, some men, we know the truth about pregnancy. 2 or 3 men who meet a lady, but it is only one person that will pregnant her.
Exactly.
So, yes, it's possible. Really possible. So, I think in the spirit of forgiveness, because it was not an affection. My only worry is that this has drawn unnecessary attention.
Exactly, that is the issue. Because, at first when that man was just pushing that she must go for the DNA test, people were surprised. Upon one tapper who actually is not well educated, people were saying, who is the person pushing this man to go for a DNA test? And to the extent this man was like, when I actually had a chat with him, he was telling me that for people to make him go do DNA tests, that's the responsibility that the person who actually raped the lady knew that her pregnancy was not for the husband. So the man right now is thinking a lot of things.
I agree with them. I think that the man is a man because the very moment the husband started talking about DNA, he would have grown up. And maybe by then, on that year, the mother-in-law that had what happened. So, but in summary, I think that was the key to the man to accept and forgive her. What I know is that because the Chunaya came in and began the feet when my case. The truth is that what when I'm on my
Yes.
what of the man of the child is just so far by.
Exactly.
There are people in somebody what they are married. Of course, no longer they are not women. Even intentionally. That child still belongs to the husband because when you marry a wife, you will want. As you get the baby, well, the person, for instance, is not the same donor.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much, Okechiko from Abani Road. I so much appreciate your calling into the program this evening. God bless you and bye-bye.
Thank you very much.
All right, let's welcome another caller. Hello, good evening. Welcome to the program. Please, let's know your name and location.
Yes,
Go ahead with your contribution, sir.
Amaka, yes, Amaka wants everybody to believe that. Because she's an illusion of everything surrounding her, she knows everything. How on earth does she want us to believe that if she opens up, people will not believe her? She's the type that on self-righteousness. Confess what happened and then watch what people will say. Display that you are innocent and people will know that you are innocent. That's the type of confusion that you will believe that confuses people. But we will know the truth. If it's not selfish, how on earth would she continue to do the child, not allowing the husband to touch it? Only to say that why not say it because people will not believe her.
Well, please.
So you now know what people will do.
I want to clarify something to you. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yes, I want to give you more clarification. The truth is that, they actually wanted to subject Amaka to a traditional ritual. That was exactly when she made the confession. But of course, Amaka also said, look, maybe you would not want to agree that I was raped, but that she was ready to swear that she was raped. according to one person, yes, according to one person I actually had a chat with, the person told me that even if she swear that it was rape, the most important thing is that she has accepted that another man has crossed her. That whether rape or no rape, that it is immaterial. The main thing is that another man has crossed her outside the husband. So I don't know if you understand.
The simple truth here is that she actually knew what happened and decided to deny the husband the knowledge.
Yes.
And she was still hammering that knowledge when she got married, which made her want to allow the husband to touch the child. Why must she continue to hide this simple truth to the point that the decisions want to hide?
No, remember that Amaka was only angry. You know, a woman late in the night who is supposed to be with a nurse, at least to be put to bed, and nobody is there helping her. She had to go trek all the way late in the night. The husband did not even accompany her. It was very, very dangerous, you know. And very early in the morning, the right thing for the husband to do is to go straight to the hospital. The husband didn't go until the nurse started calling the man. These are some things that actually made the woman to be angry.
That, even if that, I still believe what is this man like this, cannot be wrong at this time. There's no way you can be wrong at this time. You got an accident. Somebody hit you. Jump back to go to your husband for 9 solid
months. Please, my brother, what I am begging for now is you need, remember that whatever you're saying right now, that family is listening. What exactly do you want the family to do, especially the husband who is listening now?
The husband should enjoy the wedding.
Good. All right. Thank you so much for that comment. I so much appreciate it. God bless you. All right, thanks for your call. He said the husband should endure. Sometimes we just find it difficult to believe certain things that women say. Why? Maybe because few. Okay, should I say few? Okay, let me say some women may not be truthful sometimes in their actions. But remember that most women are vulnerable. I want you to know that this program is all about you. Without your contribution, believe me, we won't be getting any solution. Because this program, we are determined to help people move on with their life. My name is Michael Nwatu, the Parade Master. Thank you so much for being there.